I'm getting real sick and tired of all of these stupid problems that we face as humans that have such simple solutions. I've been saying this for years, you guys, that oftentimes what appear to be like big issues have really simple solutions. And usually, again, there's not just one solution, there's multiple routes to solving issues. Like, for instance, the weight loss industry, you guys. The weight loss industry is a business. And it's a business built on scam after scam after scam. All of these fad diets where you have to restrict everything and it leads to stress, and stress leads to falling back and binging. It leads to falling back on your old ways, of eating and this, that, and the other. It's ridiculous. We live in a culture that has created an obesity issue worldwide, especially here in the United States. But instead of questioning the way things have been set up here in the Matrix, which has literally created 99% of the problems, the way the Matrix is engineered, we're living in a fucking false environment as domesticated creatures, folks. Do you think everybody's going to be healthy in a prison system like this? No. But instead of people questioning why everything's fucking broken here for the most part, here in hell, people want to act like life here is normal and try to solve their petty issues from within the confines of the prison walls, behind the prison, the bars in their cell. Your spirit is unaware of itself and trapped within a physical vessel. Through Kundalini, the spirit, the soul, can wake up, animate the body's protoplasm, reach the head, and you can experience heaven consciousness. This is when you leave. This is when you hop the fence of the prison system that you're in, and you realize what your real purpose is here, folks. Imagine that. But we're all using less than 1% of our power. We're in a state that I like to call hell consciousness. We're not enlightened. Yet we act like we've got everything figured out and, this, that, and the other. It's so fucking stupid, and it's so fake, and it's so narcissistic, egotistical, self-centered, and just disgusting, confused, and lost. It's just insane. And the only way you're going to be able to understand this is to experience higher states of consciousness, to shift and or move the assemblage point, because a shift and a move of the assemblage point is drastically different. They are. Like, a movement is much more cataclysmic, if you will, than a shift of the assemblage point. But that's besides the point, you guys. What I'm trying to say here, and what this all has to do with obesity, and the obesity issues, and the addiction issues, and all this other shit, is that it's coming from living an unnatural lifestyle, where we're leading non-authentic lives based on untruths. We're not living the truth, folks. We are not living the way we were designed to live. We are not expressing our genetics the way that they were designed to be expressed. We are not experiencing evolution. We have been put into a state of what I like to call, or what's known as stasis, which is just a lack of flow. There's a damming up, a stagnation of our true energies, folks. You see, you can't put a tiger in a domesticated environment and expect the tiger to live the life that it was programmed to live from within these prison walls. You can't put a tiger in the zoo and expect it to live a natural fucking life of freedom. You can't put an elephant in a zoo and do the same thing. You cannot take a whale and put it in a pool like at Marine World or any of these other disgusting establishments. You can't do that and expect it to live a natural fucking life, folks. It goes against the laws of nature. So we're all here in hell. We are an angelic species, part human, part angel. Now, what being human is, I'm not going to talk about in this video because they want us all to think we're walking upright apes. Although there's a lot to the story that we're not being told, of which I know a handful of secrets about what we actually are. But I'm not going to get into that in this video. We've already gone over it in the past and we'll continue to in future episodes. However, what the fuck, guys? We are these angelic creatures designed to be connected to the true living and hidden God within our bodies, in our minds, and our souls. Through the Kundalini moving through our bodies, we're designed to experience that state of consciousness, folks, constantly. Kundalini is a phone system that connects us to the truth. We're not connected to it anymore. And we've been thrown into this domesticated world, we've become domesticated creatures, if I can speak today, living in a false environment, which is the Matrix, which is an illusionary realm to keep you preoccupied before your imminent death. It's a realm to keep you preoccupied from coming into contact with your soul. What's the name of that Tool song? I can't remember the name of it. Wide awake and keeping distance from my soul. Wide awake and keeping distance from my soul. That's what's going on here, folks. And the Matrix provides all of the temptations and illusions to keep you preoccupied from gnosis. From having, moving and shifting the assemblage points. So what do you think? You really think that there's going to be just like everybody's healthy here and there's no weight issues or addiction issues or anything else or crime? What the fuck? We're not living properly. We are violating the immutable laws of what we were designed to do. This world is like a level of a video game. We're supposed to level up. We're not leveling up. We're staying on level 1 and acting like there's not going to be any issues. Imagine playing a video game and all it was level 1. But subconsciously you felt like there was a level 2, but you just didn't know what to do to get to it. And it was just like you spent your whole life on level 1 trying to figure out something more to life, trying to add some excitement, trying to do something. Now, most people don't know that this existence is like a video game to some extent where we can level up and augment or, modulate and increase our health and do all these crazy things. We're constantly supposed to be growing, folks. We're not supposed to be dying and decaying and becoming sluggish and all this other nonsense, but we are. Because we're not connected to what we were designed to be connected to. And because of that, we've lost connection to the truth. We've essentially lost connection to integrity and morals on a spiritual level. Coming here and acting like life is just about work and school and making money and having a family, that's surface level bullshit. And although it sounds good because there's a monumental amount of people around you doing that particular set of things, it doesn't mean that that's what we were fucking designed to experience or, do with our lives. Excuse my language, but I'm fucking sick of this shit. Day in and day out, the humdrum of all of this, you guys, it's maddening. All of these people are stressed out, just over broke, worn thin. They've got bad sleep patterns. They're exposed to all this blue light frying their brains, literally. Watching television, connected to propaganda, full of fear. Demineralized from all this stress. And stress, don't try to tell me that stress doesn't demineralize you and deplete you of vital nutrients. Stress, ladies and gentlemen, whether it be environmental stress, emotional stress, you name it, starts to deplete your magnesium reserves. This is why I've been talking about magnesium for, what feels like over 10 years now. When Dr. Kassar started making his original videos, I got hooked. With the 6 liquids of vitality, he started talking about magnesium and silica and boron and all this stuff. And I started experimenting with it. And lo and behold, there were some serious truths to it. Now, Dr. Kassar, like any intelligent individual, has changed some of his beliefs because things are malleable here, ladies and gentlemen. We're all trying to find the answers to the giant questions in front of all of us that we're all fucking living under the spell of. We've got to figure things out. So don't try to tell me, oh, Dr. Kassar changed some of his philosophies. How can you trust him? Because I've put a lot of what he says to the grinding stone. I've experimented with a lot of it, and a lot of it's worked. And even though, I'm not going to get into Dr. Kassar. I think he's an incredible human. But, there's been a huge shift. Many people are like letting go of a lot of the herbs they were once taking, a lot of the roots and stuff like that. I'm here to tell you guys that even though I eat animal products and meat now, I still eat a ton of plants. I still consume a lot of herbs. I have never once said that I am anti-vegan. Not once, ladies and gentlemen, have I said that I am anti-vegan. So you've got to really pay attention here, folks, because in all of my videos on me being an ex-vegan, I've said consistently that I think a vegan diet is one of the greatest things for many people because of how potent of an elimination diet it is. Don't believe me? Go back and watch all of my ex-vegan videos. I literally have said that it's done miracles on people that I've known, that I put on a plant-based diet. I still recommend plant-based diets for certain clients. So shut the fuck up and don't try to misrepresent me. But unlike many ex-vegans, I'm not like, oh, I'm just on the carnivore diet. No, carnivore diet, in my opinion, is completely non-optimal for most people. But I'm not going to get into that. People say, oh, but plants are hybridized and blah, blah, blah. We're not meant to eat them. What do you think the fucking chicken you're eating and all the other stuff that you're eating, you think that's the original species that God put here on this earth? You don't think that, look at what many of the animals are fed. Even your so-called grass-fed animals. A lot of these animals are eating nutrients that are not designed, they were never designed to eat. So again, it's all about context here. You find what works and you stick to it. Some people, a carnivore diet works great. Just nothing but like pretty much zero carb foods. For some people, a plant-based diet works wonders. A lot of this has to do with genetics as well, ladies and gentlemen. Certain emotional states that you're currently in with stress. There's a handful of factors here when it comes to diet. And there is no copy and paste. This works for everyone. Fucking nonsense. So enough's enough. I don't need to hear it. I'm tired of people acting like what they've figured out is like gospel. No. There are, however, some certain truths that work well across the board, like limiting intake of gluten and vegetable oils. Those two things, ladies and gentlemen, with the way that wheat and gluten-containing grains and starches have been genetically engineered and hybridized, etc., their proteins are way too difficult for the stomach acid of human beings currently to break down and assimilate. It causes the destruction of the intestinal villi, your absorptive tissues. This is true across the board. Not just celiac disease-stricken people have gluten disorders. Everybody thinks, I got a gluten test, blah, blah, blah. Well, you probably didn't get a thorough gluten test if it came back negative. If it came back saying that you didn't have a gluten sensitivity. Most people do, folks. It's one of the, and I don't want to get into gluten, but it's one of the leading factors as to why so many people have headaches all the time and all this other stupid bullshit. It's the neuroinflammatory effect of gluten proteins tumbling through your small intestine, destroying your intestinal villi. This leads to you not being able to absorb anything, regardless of how healthy it is, whatnot, and etc. You want to get healthy? Get away from the foods that are causing you to be inflamed chronically and destroying your body's ability to absorb nutrients. Then once you start putting the right foods in, you'll be able to absorb them. But vegetable oil, one of the leading causes of heart disease, cardiovascular disorders, skin cancer, etc. in the United States. There's no denying this. And they're putting vegetable oil and gluten in everything, folks. So again, I'm not trying to act like what I preach is gospel, because you may think you're thriving on wheat. I highly doubt it. I would suggest just trying to get off of gluten for 2 months and vegetable oils for 2 months. Watch what happens. And get on the vitamin C therapy that I talk about often. and some of the other essential nutrients, a mineral supplement. We go over this extensively here on the YouTube channel and on my podcast and on my Patreon page and all my other platforms. I'm not going to rant and repeat myself, folks. But long story short, to get back on track, we experience all of these issues that we cannot seem to fix because we are fundamentally and subconsciously unhappy because we're living non-authentic lives. We've gone from pharaohs to slaves. Ladies and gentlemen, we've gone from Atlantean type people to shopping cart cleaners and all this other stupid bullshit. And don't ever misrepresent me and try to act like I'm judging people for working certain jobs, like fast food jobs or this, that, and the other. I'm not judging people by saying we've gone from, Atlanteans to shopping cart cleaners. I'm saying that it's stupid that we've been fucking led in this direction and that we're settling for this. Ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, you guys. The obesity, they don't want you to get thin, folks. They don't want you to get thin. They want you to be overweight so that they can sell you protein shakes and weight loss pills and this and that and this and that and schedules and weight programs and gym memberships and all this other stupid shit. Stop worrying about weight and start eating the right foods. Foods that are more compatible with your physical protoplasmic tissues, what you were designed to eat. Stop eating fake shit with all the phthalates in it that's destroying your reproductive capabilities. They want you sterile. They want you infertile. They want you genetically engineered. Stop eating this shit. Start eating real food. It's not difficult. I'm going right now to a Hispanic market in town, and I'm going to buy a massive amount of stuff to make some homemade salsa. And I'm making, what are we having tonight? We're having stuffed bell peppers with nothing but real ingredients. Nothing but real ingredients. I'm going to put some salt on it and this, that, and the other. And that's something else that I wanted to mention, the salt thing. Salt is a fucking conspiracy. All these people who want to say that salt is unhealthy. No, sodium's unhealthy when you eat it in processed foods where there's unnaturally large amounts of sodium in the food for its weight. Salt from Himalayan salt, Celtic salt, sea salt, these are incredibly good for the production of hydrochloric acid, stomach acid. It's incredibly important. Salt, proper sodium chloride, so that your body knows how to store water properly. It's full of minerals. It's conductive, ladies and gentlemen. And salt is responsible for proper and healthy nerve communication. Nerve impulses. Salt is unhealthy. It's a rock, bro. That's something that's perpetuated largely in the raw food community. Yet you eat fruits and vegetables that were imported from Ecuador via the slave trade over there and all the other countries and whatnot. The people, they're not necessarily slaves, but they might as well be considered slaves because of how poorly they're treated. It's disgusting. You're eating foods that were raised, fruits and vegetables that were raised in NPK fertilizer, that lack all the essential nutrients that should have been in the soil, like all the essential minerals. But salt's dangerous? The things that your produce were fed make the minerals and the constituents in your produce incredibly dangerous in comparison to salt. And don't try to tell me we're not supposed to consume salt. Salt is a benevolent substance. You absorb massive amounts of sodium when you go swimming in the ocean. Should we not swim in the ocean because, salt's a rock, our body wasn't designed to consume rocks? When you eat salt, it gets broken down into a liquid that is incredibly easy to digest. In fact, it aids the production of stomach acid. It helps you digest things. You guys just run with shit and believe it. You just hear something that sounds good and you run with it without ever actually testing it. Salt raises blood pressure, bro. When you eat the wrong type of sodium, for sure. Sodium that is mixed with processed garbage, which most of you guys probably eat. I'm not trying to judge my subscribers, excuse me. I'm just speaking to the world at large in generalities here. I'm ranting to the world. eating boxed garbage and all the other nonsense filled full of sodium, this, that, and the other. You take no magnesium, you're mineral deficient, you're iodine deficient, you lack vitamin A, but it's the salt's fault. Everybody loves a good scapegoat, don't they? And salt is one of those scapegoats. Hands down. Always has been and probably always will be. Get a grip. Salt isn't the issue. It's processed food, vegetable oils, and gluten that's the issue. It's all the metallic nanocompounds in the air. The aluminum, the barium, the strontium, the mylar fiber, the chaff, the radioactive isotopes. Through the geoengineering high-altitude aerosol spray programs, SAI, stratospheric aerosol injections, solar radiation management. They've sprayed us all with these conductive components that are not necessarily attenuated, but affected by all the electromagnetics in our atmosphere. We're becoming something we're not designed to be. We weren't ever designed to be. But it's the salt's fault. Oh, but it's a high-fat diet's fault. Motherfucker, people eat high carb now. People have chronically elevated blood sugar. A constant blood sugar roller coaster ride. Stop blaming fat. Fat is not the issue. The wrong type of fats is, especially when you mix it with carbohydrates, which everybody's on a high-carb diet. Nobody's, for the most part, eating real healthy animal fats and real healthy carbohydrates. Everybody's eating all of the excess, just the processed, refined carbohydrates. The stuff that constantly keeps your blood sugar elevated. Constantly. Shut the fuck up. Dairy gets all of the blame. Animal products get all of the blame. Yet, the majority of the United States, what they eat is plant foods. And on top of that, it's often gluten-containing plant foods, processed garbage, refined shit. But that doesn't matter, right? It's the fat's fault. Get a grip. It's cholesterol's fault. My God. Cholesterol becomes an issue when you have chronically elevated blood sugar spikes constantly, when you're inflamed. Jesus Christ, ladies and gentlemen. A large majority of your brain's composition is cholesterol. Maybe, just maybe, there's an agenda against cholesterol. Maybe. Come on. And yeah, cholesterol can be dangerous in the presence of elevated chronically elevated blood sugar when you're constantly eating crap. You don't want to mix fats and cholesterol when you're eating a bunch of fucking carbohydrates. Not only do we get incredibly fat very quickly, but the two, it becomes dangerous at that point. It's like a gun that you give to the wrong person with bullets. It's going to be in the wrong hands. You give that gun to the right person, it could be an incredible tool. Just like a shovel. You're going to kill someone with a shovel, or you can build beautiful things. You build a shelter to keep you alive with a shovel. We're lacking context. We're lost. We're stupid. We've become incredibly gullible, disgusting creatures. And I hate to say that, and I'm not trying to sound like a pessimist, but let's get a fucking grip and put our thinking caps back on, folks. Let's put our thinking caps back on, which is a metaphoric symbol-like phrase that I use to talk about getting your common sense back. And you're never going to get your common sense back if you're plugged into the thousand-headed ass of humanity, constantly buying into the propaganda and all the bullshit. Get a grip. Flush your body with the right fluids. Do a liquid change, like an oil change on your body. Get the right fats into your system. Get on the ascorbic acid protocol that we talk about. I personally take 3 to 10 or sometimes more grams of vitamin C a day, and I'm in no way, shape, or form telling you to do that. I'm just telling you what I do. You want to learn more? Look into the Linus Pauling work on, or look at Linus Pauling's work on ascorbic acid, vitamin C, a very cheap antioxidant. My God. I mean, a lot of these nutrients that we talk about here on the Sacred Serpent YouTube channel are nutrients and key elements that most people are deficient in due to eating all the garbage. all the alcohol consumption, which hinders the body's ability to utilize vitamin A properly and everything else. Like, we're all damaged, guys. We're all damaged. So let's fundamentally change the core of who we are, and then let's worry about losing weight and all this shit. Get off the wrong fats, stop eating all the refined carbohydrates, get on the right fats and the right foods, and stop worrying about fat. A little bit of gristle on your system in today's world, if it's built from the right foods and fat, can actually be an incredibly potent and valid barrier against environmental toxins. We've been lied to about everything. We've been lied to about everything. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. It's madness. Like, we all have to have a scapegoat, right? Like tobacco, a scapegoat. And I'm not saying chronic tobacco use is a good thing, because it can lead to a lot of issues. It can totally control your life. That's for sure. But tobacco is the issue? That's what's under the gun? That's what's under the microscope? Not the fact that we're lost souls living in a dimension where we don't know who we are or what our purpose is. We've been completely disconnected from our auric field, our Merkaba, and God, the true living God. Not this Christian demon pretending to be God that everybody's under the spell of. That's not a problem. The fact that we eat massive amounts. I think the average American eats over 150 pounds of wheat a year. Gluten has nothing to do with it. Being disconnected, watching TV for 5 fucking hours a day. Eating all the vegetable oils, clogging our arteries with all the crap, but tobacco's the problem. All that shit about, like, salt and especially, like, that's all just a cover-up to keep you preoccupied. They want you to think that salt, a necessary ingredient to all life on Earth, it's in all the fucking oceans. Salt's the problem. Oh, honey. Salt's the problem. No. Your lack of understanding or understanding or overstanding. That's the issue. Salt's the problem. What's next? Are we gonna say that air's the problem? That breathing is the issue? I'm starting to think that that's what's next, folks. Every day when I wake up, I drink my coffee, do a little bit of stretching, a little bit of yoga, a little neck stretching, throw some cold water on my face, clean my body with a Dr. Kusar skin cleaning solution. I take my mixture of herbs, blood pressure herbs, because I'm a little high strung. You know, I take my magnesium, I take my vitamin C, I get my regimen going, I take my Shazandra, I do my thing. And it, like, just lights my brain up, the minerals, all of it. Like, I'm illuminated. I'm on. My brain is working. I'm scanning reality with my senses awakened. I'm not a dull idiot. And it has ignited a black flame within me. And we've gone over what the black flame is in the past. That's a left-hand terminology that most people don't understand. But it's a self-consuming, all-consuming lust for wisdom and a lust for individuality in a world of complacency and herd-like, disgusting thinking. I am illuminated. And I go out here and every single day I scan reality. I look at people and I just know that we're falling further and further down the hole, down the path of destruction. We are losing ourselves, folks. This is not a joke. Sacred Serpent, you need to calm down. No, you need to wake up. Because I'm far from being... What's the word? I am calm right now. You just don't know what being truly calm is. Being calm is when you have an actual understanding of what's going on. You see, your version of calm is, just ignore everything. Just relax here in hell. Just get comfortable here in hell. It's okay, man. It's all good. You're fake as fuck. You have no heat. You have none of that Promethean fire, none of that Luciferian ether. You got no fucking, you know what I mean? Like, you're just like going along to get along with all the other idiots out here. What the fuck's wrong with you? But you're calm? No, you're fake. You're fake, which is negative. You're not calm, you're negative. plastic ass people out here looking like straight cartoon characters. Once you get to the point where you have enough nutrition in your system, once you've moved the assemblage point and shifted it enough, you get that black flame ignited, and you see how everyone just like, it literally looks like you're in a cartoon world. It literally looks like you're in a cartoon world. This is madness. This is madness of the highest order, of the highest degree, of the highest tier. This is our soul that's on the line here, folks. Our collective soul. We are being harvested. This is all we've got to give them. This is all we've got to give the New World Order in return. This is all our return to sender spell says on it. Is learning, all you people learning to enjoy this fucking bullshit. Fuck. This is all we've got? What the fuck? Where's your heat? Where's your passion? Where's your thirst to live? Where's your desire to pierce the veil? Where's your desire to achieve the impossible? To be that dreamer that you were when you were a child? Where'd it go? Oh, that's right, the Archons. They cut a deal with you at a young age. That's right. And you started giving them your fear. And you got lost in this prison system because of the collective mass weight, the inertia of all the slaves around you who have already succumbed to it. It was just too much for you to bear. So instead of being like Lucifer, instead of walking a unique path, instead of being like Prometheus, instead of rebelling against the control system, you conveniently became a part of it. You took the coward's way out, and you lost your soul in the process. And now it's time to find it again, ladies and gentlemen. It's not too late. But we've got to start stopping. We've got to start stopping this madness. We've got to get out of this prison system. Unless you just want to fucking live just a boring ass life. Because let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't get your shit together soon, what's going to end up happening is you're going to be like 50 or 60 years old and look back and go, what the fuck did I do with my life? Like, that's why people have midlife crises, folks. People have midlife crises or crises, however you pronounce it, because they get to a point where they finally start reflecting. And unconsciously, they're not connected to it, but they start feeling a grinding of like, well, this lost time shit. You see, you're unaware of it because you're disconnected from your unconscious. You exist within something I call the front of the mind, and because of that, you don't know what's going on behind the front of your mind. Again, you use 1% of your potential. And even though you're not fully aware of the fact that you're living a non-authentic life, like, it gets to a point where unconsciously you do, and it starts to grind at your emotions. And this is why people have midlife crises. It's called non-fulfillment. How are you going to feel fulfilled in a prison? Especially one that you could have escaped from. And we escape from the prison through perceptual fluidity. Reassembling our energetic field by way of moving and shifting the assemblage point. Reawakening Kundalini. This is how we evolve, motherfucker. This is how we evolve. Sitting down here in hell, acting like everything's okay, wondering why you're depressed. Wondering why I can't get my life together and all this other nonsense, guys. We are glorified victims. We like feeling sorry for ourselves because we live in a system where we all kind of get to be victims together. And there's a pharmacy around every corner with an antidepressant or a vaccine or this, that, and the other to make you feel like a victim and to make you feel better. And poor me, I have to take my blood pressure medication because I live a fucking unhealthy lifestyle. But it's genetic. I'm sick. No. Guys, enough of the victimhood. Stop being weak. Stop being weak. Reignite the torch of health. This is a metaphor for action. Taking action, guys. Forward momentum. Without action, you will not create the necessary friction that will get the rubber to meet the road. The vehicle of your health will not move forward, and you will experience entropy and decay at an accelerated rate without the nutrients in your system, without the magnesium, without the vitamin C, without some type of powerful antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, whether it be quercetin with bromelain, I don't give a fuck, resveratrol, pterosilbine. Get something in your system. Cool this system down. Cool the motor down. You're redlining your tachometer. It's in the red line. You're redlining your vehicle. We couple healthy diet with the full body relaxation exercise and magic so that we can start learning the power of our mind. I'm going to wrap this one up, you guys. I'm sick of this shit. I just need to go for a run or do something. But I love you all. Always remember that oftentimes the problem that you're experiencing is predicated upon a much larger source. It's not just, I don't have no self-control, I'm fat, and all this other shit. No. There's a good chance you're just stressed the fuck out because you live in an undead world, or a dead world. You live in a realm that's insane. Work first, you guys. If you want to learn to control weight, de-stress. Once you get rid of the stress, you'll stop emotionally eating as much, because oftentimes we reach for food because it creates like an endorphin release of sorts. It's like we just feel better. So I'm going to wrap this one up. We'll talk more about this plastic-ass world in the future. Until next time, keep the torch lit within. Keep the black flame ignited and keep billowing its flames. Peace be with you.